I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. May I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Parton,
Here.
Vice Mayor Joyner,
Here.
Councilor Harris,
Here.
Councilor Ellis, Councilor Day,
Here.
Councilor Wheat, Councilor Rapoli.
Here.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay. This time, do I have a motion to add an item to the closed agenda regarding the resignation of a school board member who has provided a letter of resignation? This added agenda item is procedurally permitted under the Rules of City Council, Section 4, Rule 405.
So move. Second.
Okay. Let's see. Motion's been made by Vice Mayor Joyner and seconded by Councilor Rapoli. Is there any lights? The letter of resignation that came from one of the school board members. We're going to talk about it in the back.
You should have received it.
Yeah, remember? Yeah, you got the email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, fine.
We're going to do a briefing on it. Yeah. Roll call, please.
Councilor Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Parton,
Yes.
Councilor Day,
Yes.
Councilor Rapoli,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joyner.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay. All right. At this time, do I have a motion to go into closed meeting under Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A3, 8, and 29 to discuss the acquisition or disposition of real property, where discussion in an open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body, the award of a public contract where discussion in an open session would adversely affect the city's bargaining position, and to consult with legal counsel regarding specific legal matters, real estate contract discussion, and for discussion, consideration, or interviews of prospective candidates for employment, assignment, appointment, promotion, performance, demotion, salaries, disciplining, or resignation of specific public officers, appointees, or employees of any public body, and an evaluation of performance of departments or schools of public institutions of higher education where such evaluation will necessarily involve discussion of the performance of specific individuals. Any teacher shall be permitted to be present during the closed meeting in which there is a discussion and consideration of disciplinary matter that involves the teacher and some student, and the student involved in the matter is present, provided that the teacher makes a written request to be present to the presiding officer of the appropriate board. Nothing in this subdivision, however, shall be construed to authorize a closed meeting by a local governing body or elected school board or city council to discuss compensation matters that affect the membership of such board or board collectively.
So moved.
Per Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A1 and 8.
So moved.
All right. Motion's been made by Councilor Day and seconded by Vice Mayor Joyner. Is there any discussion? Seeing no lights, roll call, please.
Councilor Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Parton,
Yes.
Councilor Day,
Yes.
Councilor Rapoli,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joyner.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay. And I'll give you this, Sade, for the language.
Yes.
Come out of closed meeting. Do I have a motion to come out of closed session?
So moved. Second.
All right. Motion's been made by Vice Mayor Joyner and seconded by Councilor Day. Is there any discussion? Seeing no lights, roll call, please.
Councilor Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Parton,
Yes.
Councilor Day,
Yes.
Councilor Rapoli,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joyner.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay. Certification, please.
Certification under Virginia Code 2.2-3712D, where only public business matters, 1, lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements, and 2, identified in the closed meeting motion discussed in the closed meeting. Councilor Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Parton,
Yes.
Councilor Day,
Yes.
Councilor Rapoli,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joyner.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay. I want to welcome all of our visitors here to tonight's City Council meeting. We'll start out with our report from the City Manager, Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Mayor, Council, a couple of items. One, I have designated Kyle English as our new public information officer since Ginger Holland has left the organization. He'll pick up those duties in addition to his new business introduction and generation, working with Charles Bennett. So we're very pleased to have him pick that up. And as a part of that transfer, we are also moving special events back to Tabitha Martinez in Parks and Recreation. Also, we had hoped to finish the O&M contract award by this time. And we went through the process. We've identified two vendors. We negotiated with them and asked for different proposals so that we could evaluate them, fairly. And so that's just something that Mr. Matthew Ellenhouse and the city manager will have to pick up and follow up on, along with the sixth supplement, which is very important in terms of the relation between the city and our industry partners at Hopewell Water Renewal. And that should be done. I think they're close now, and they should be completed, probably by the next meeting. I don't see Matthew yet. Next meeting, you think?
Fingers crossed.
All right. But they're working on it. They're getting close. I just wanted to acknowledge that. This will be work that Mr. Jones will have to pick up tomorrow. All right. So at this point, let's have the crime report from Chief Taylor.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and members of City Council. I'm here this evening to present the May Crime Center report through May the 4th. And my first slide is violent crime total. At this point, violent crime is down minus 39%. Property crime is down minus 4%. And total major crime at this point is down minus 12%. And I'll go back to those 3 arsons that were reported this year. And those 3 arsons reported were not buildings. They were kind of random acts with trash and debris. However, they fell under the criteria of being reported as an arson. And the forcible rape, those 3 reported, they are reported by known acquaintances. It's not just by some random person. Next slide is we use 2022 as our gauging point. As you well know, that's when we started with the increase in technology throughout the city. And if you look at from 2022 to so far in 2026, the percentage is minus 33% in violent crime. And also on the property crime, if you look at the percentage from 2022 to 2026, the property crime is minus 27%. And total major crime is minus 28% if you compare those two, 2022 and 2026. Suspected opiate overdoses. So far in 2026, we've had 1 fatal, 3 non-fatal, and a total of 4. And that's as compared to the previous year, we're still at a 5-year low. Our narcotics incident versus arrest. I'm going to start with 2023 and felony and misdemeanors. If you look at 2023, it says total narcotic incidents with arrest. Those are total number of incidents. In 2023, we had 55 incidents, and we had 53 felony arrests and 6 misdemeanor arrests. If you go down to total persons arrested for 2023, you'll see a total of 50 persons were arrested. 48 was felony warrants and 6 were misdemeanor warrants. Same as 2024, total incidents was 49, resulting in 48 felony arrests and 6 misdemeanor arrests. And total persons arrested for narcotics violation in 2024, it was 46 people arrested on 45 felony charges and 6 misdemeanors. And lastly, in 2025, it was 29 incidents with arrests, resulting in 28 felony warrants and 3 misdemeanor warrants. In 2025, it was a total of 27 people that were arrested, 26 felony and 3 misdemeanors. And we're still in 2026, so those numbers are still coming in. And as far as the narcotic incidents and arrests, as you well know, that we are still members of the 1B Task Force. The 1B Task Force consists of Petersburg, Dinwiddie, Colonial Heights, Chesterfield, and Hopewell. And over the last 3 years, they have completed about approximately 40 search warrants in the city of Hopewell. So we do have an investigator that's assigned to the task force, and they do work cases in the city of Hopewell. Verified shots fired through May the 4th, 2024, we had 64. 2025 was 54, 10 less. And so far in 2026, we've had 8. Neighborhood watch meetings, really nothing has changed for as the dates and times and the locations. They're the same as previously reported. And our hiring and recruitment, we still have 2 dispatch positions that are vacant, and 1 application is currently being reviewed. We have 4 police officer positions that are unfilled, and 4 applicants remain in the background. We got following recruiting events on May the 17th. It's Valley Virginia Law Enforcement Foundation. He'll be in Ashland. On June 11th, the Transition Assistance Program will be at Fort Lee on the 11th of June, and August 11th, once again, we'll be in Fort Lee. Our community policing officers by ward, the only change in this, we have a Ward 3 officer, Officer Corey Taylor. He's assigned to Ward 3, and Tiffany Sherrod, she's in Ward 7, and those are the 2 additional ward officers that we have assigned. Community engagement, as we well know, the Citizen Police Academy was held May the 7th, and Vice Mayor Joyner and Councilor Rapola was a part of the graduation, and thank you for your participation, and congratulations. May the 12th, which is tonight, is a Tipper Cop. It'll be held at Texas Roadhouse in Colonial Heights, and that's from 5 to 8, and that's to raise money for Special Olympics. On May 17th, the VAL recruitment event will be held at Green Top. May 18th, Officer Reed David will have a business resource meeting. It will be held at the Good Ship Brewery at 5:30 p.m., May the 18th. And lastly, on May the 23rd, the Special Olympics fishing tournament will be held at the Marina. And that concludes my crime summary, and I'm here to answer any questions.
Are there any questions for Chief Taylor? No? Okay.
Can I just say thank you? I want to say thank you for including the narcotics information. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Chief, I think this is my last meeting. And since I've been here for each meeting, each month, you've made this crime report. And we've been fortunate that the numbers keep going down, down, down. And I just want to say thank you and the department for keeping the city safe.
Absolutely.
And being on a trajectory of reducing crime every month, you know, over every year since 22, and it's been a good report. So I congratulate you and the department for the work that you've done, and also in partnership with the Sheriff's Department, because Hopewell is not what it used to be. And I think that to say that to be able to report what you have in terms of the reduction in crime is a good sign for the city.
Thank you, sir.
The next item, Mr. Mayor, is we have a proclamation from the Public Works Department? We're doing that?
And I'd like to ask all those on City Council would like to come down as well to help present the proclamation. So I have to say that you guys are, and I probably won't catch some flack from the police chief on this one, but I will say that as an engineer, y'all are by far my favorite department. All about wastewater. All about wastewater. I really do appreciate all that you guys do for the city. Y'all come out on emergency calls. When there are sinkholes that we think are forming. Y'all are out there for inclement weather, for natural disasters that come through, and people don't really see all the good work that you guys do, and also the level of customer service that you exhibit to our citizens. Even just, I think it was on Good Friday, that two of y'all came out to speak with some citizens about some erosion issues, and you guys were off the clock that day, but y'all took it upon yourself to meet with those citizens and help educate them and teach them some things that they might be able to do on their end. And so I really appreciate you guys, department-wise, going above and beyond. So I'd like to read this proclamation presented to you guys for recognizing National Public Works Week. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to the public health, safety, and well-being of the people of this community. And whereas the support and understanding community is vital to the efficient operation of public works programs such as rebuilding and maintaining streets, stormwater, streetlights, walkways, public buildings, grounds, solid waste systems, and other structures and facilities essential for citizens. And whereas the quality and effectiveness of these facilities, as well as their planning, design, and construction, could not be provided without the qualified skills and dedicated efforts of the public works professionals. And whereas this year's theme, Rooted in Service, Powered by Community, acknowledges that the roots of service run deep in public works, it is what has propelled public works innovations that has helped our communities evolve into places where people can lead lives of purpose and possibility. And the year 2026 marks the 66th anniversary of National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association. Now, therefore, I, Johnny Parton, and Rita Joyner, Mayor and Vice Mayor, and all members of Council of Hopewell, Virginia, do hereby recognize that the week of May 17th through 23rd, 2026 is National Public Works Week, and we call upon all citizens and civic organizations to recognize the contributions which public works professionals make every day to protect our health, safety, welfare, and quality of life. In witness thereof, I have here to set my hand and cause to be affixed the Great Seal of the City of Hopewell and the Commonwealth of Virginia this 12th day of May, 2026. I'll say you this your opportunity. You got a speech, you got sales calls.
I'd just like to say, just once, like this week,
Well, next week, actually.
and just see all public works employees, just take a moment to say thank you for their hard work they do for the city.
I'll get some thank you checks before the work orders go in.
Mr. Mayor, Council, as you know, this is my last meeting as your interim city manager. And I have a few words I'd like to share with you. I am filled with a mix of emotions, gratitude, nostalgia, and hope for the future. Serving as the interim city manager of our beloved Hopewell has been one of the most rewarding experiences of my career. Though my time here has been brief, it has been impactful, not just for me, but I hope for you. When I stepped into this role, I was aware of the challenges and responsibilities that awaited me. However, I was also aware of the immense potential that our community holds. Hopewell is not just a city. It is a tapestry of dreams, efforts, and aspirations woven together by the hearts and minds of its residents. Every corner of our city tells a story, and every initiative we undertook was aimed at crafting a brighter narrative for our future. I want to take a moment to express my heartfelt appreciation to the City Council. Your unwavering support and guidance have been instrumental in navigating the complexities of our municipal responsibilities. Together, we have tackled issues that mattered for our citizens, be it enhancing public safety, investing in our infrastructure, or promoting community engagement. Your dedication to this city has been truly inspiring. To our city staff, who work tirelessly behind the scenes, I am incredibly grateful for your hard work and commitment. Your passion for serving this community is palpable. It is the frontline workers, the planners, the engineers, and everyone in between who makes the city run smoothly. And I am honored to have collaborated with such a talented team. I would also like to thank the residents of Hopewell. Your voices and feedback have shaped our priorities, and I'm proud of the progress we have made, fostering a sense of community and collaboration. It has been a privilege to hear your stories, understand your concerns, and to work towards solutions that benefit us all. At the National Prayer Day the other day, I prayed for civic decorum in our community. Civic decorum in public meetings is essential for fostering an environment of respect, collaboration, and constructive dialogue. When individuals engage in public discourse, the commitment to civility and decorum ensures that all voices are heard and valued, creating a space where diverse opinions can be expressed without fear of hostility or reprisal. Such decorum promotes mutual understanding and the ability to address complex issues effectively. It encourages participants to focus on the content of discussions rather than the personal grievances or emotional outbursts, enhancing the overall productivity of the meeting. Upholding civic decorum is not just a matter of etiquette. It's a fundamental principle that supports democratic ideals and strengthens community engagement. As citizens, we have a collective responsibility to model and advocate for respectful interactions in public forums, ensuring that our democratic processes remain inclusive and thriving. While I may be leaving my role as interim city manager, I am optimistic about the direction in which Hopewell is heading. The upcoming leadership will bring new perspectives, ideas, and energy, and I wish you well, Mr. Vincent Jones, as you step into this role. As I move on to new opportunities, I will carry with me lessons learned and the friendships forged during my time here. Hopewell will always be a special place in my heart, and I look forward to seeing all of the wonderful things this city will achieve in the coming years. Thank you for your trust placed in me. Thank you for your kindness and enthusiasm and spirit of cooperation. It has been my honor to be your interim city manager. Thank you.
Rogers, and I know that I can speak on behalf of City Council when I say that you have really been a joy to have here, working in the city, providing leadership, and also offering up so much professional development and opportunities for our staff to grow. You've mentored many of them. They've taken advantage of this opportunity to learn from you, from all your decades of experience, and we are really going to miss you. And but we do know that there's still a transition period, so we haven't lost you yet.
Right. Absolutely.
Thank you,
very much.
Mr. Rogers.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we have no actions coming out of closed session, so we'll move into the prayer and pledge of allegiance. The prayer will be done by Reverend Tucker, followed by the pledge of allegiance by myself. Please rise.
Let us pray. Most gracious Heavenly Father, we praise you and we thank you, dear Lord, for your holy presence. We thank you, dear Lord, for our city of Hopewell, Lord, and we thank you for our elected leaders, Lord. Lord, we thank you for their desire, Lord, to do wonderful things for the city, Lord, and we pray you will give them the courage, Lord, that they need. Give them the compassion, Lord, that they need for the weakest members of our community. Lord, help them to have hearts of righteousness, Lord, which will reach up to you, Lord, and seek you for guidance. Dear Lord, we pray that as the people, Lord, we will give our support to our leaders, Lord, for these are challenging times for government leaders. Help us all, Lord, people and leaders, to work together in unity, Lord, so that our city, Lord, will bring glory to your name, and our city will lift up humanity to greater places of righteousness. Thank you, Lord, in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do I have a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
All right, motion's been made by Vice Mayor Joyner and seconded by Councilor Day. Is there any discussion? Seeing no lights, roll call, please.
Counselor Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Parton,
Yes.
Counselor Day,
Yes.
Counselor Rapoli,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joyner.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay. Communications from citizens. Madam Clerk, will you please read the statement?
A communication from citizens, period, limited to a total of 30 minutes, occurs at each regular council meeting. Persons addressing council approach the microphone, give their name, and if they reside in Hopewell, their ward number. Each comment is limited to 3 minutes. No person is permitted to speak on an item scheduled for public hearing. All remarks must be addressed to the council as a body. Any person who makes personal, impertinent, abusive, or slanderous statements or incites disorderly conduct in council chambers may be barred from future communications from citizens and removed.
Okay. The first one that I have signed up for tonight is Mr. Ed Hauser.
Ed Hauser, Ward 5. I sat in this meeting last week, and I just shook my head mostly, for most of it. You know, one of my concerns was that supposedly these audits, fraud was found. Where were the warrants for them? Okay. Next, what I heard was Stacy Jordan was recruited by Robert Bobb. Well, it just so happens the city manager that y'all fired, Dr. Concetta Maniker, she is the one who reached out to bring Stacy Jordan here. So I didn't hear her name get mentioned. Something must be interesting up there. Well, another one is best sitting council I heard in 11 years. Never heard nothing about the two previous councils, which started a ball rolling on audits and got audits completed. But yet, sound like this council got patted on the back. Handing out plaques. Stacy Jordan's, I agree 100%. She should have got one. Standing ovation and a party to boot. She grabbed the bull by the horns, done a hell of a job to get us back where we needed to be on the audits. Now, the other one that got handed out, $17,000 plus retreat, wine on a city tab. You know, daring citizens not to speak, but yet that was professionalism. It's a lot to be deserved.
Next person that I have signed up for tonight is Rick Davis.
How you doing? Rick Davis, Ward 1. Bit concerning what went on, ended up being Saturday night. It was reported by the Channel 6 as being Friday night. Got a call from my neighbor about 8:30 to come in the backyard. I smell something that's kind of weird. Went back there. I didn't recognize it myself. Been through quite a bit of hazmat training with different chemicals and whatnot. It ended up being ammonia. It was basically told to me, yes, by whoever it was on the weekend manager, Brent, from Advanced 6, that it was ammonia. I still don't know. Nobody's really come forth to say, they're saying 300 pounds. Now, how that breaks down into parts per million, I know how far down the line we were. In that ravine, the wind was at my back. We were facing southeast. The wind was coming out of the northwest. And it came up right in our face, out of the southeast. It was like not near. The neighbor that called me, her husband was out there. He ended up getting sick, went in. We just like to have a little transparency, a little bit of, what's going on. Seems like every time that the plant has a little bump or bruise over there with, a car accident or something, alarms go off. We have a chemical spill. We have nothing. It's a little concerning, especially living directly on the other side of the creek from it. And then by the time the fire department came and did everybody stay in the house, we could smell it on our front porch. And it was for it to be up in the neighborhood like that and be that pungent, it was pretty bad. We ended up getting text from the fire department, emergency. Ended up being another woman ended up texting us and letting us know to shelter in place. We just like to hear, a little something more. I've tried to, by state law, the Freedom of Information Act, somebody should be able to open up a book, and it states within 5 days, give us a rundown of what chemicals they have on site and what the precautions are. What we commonly called it MSDS book, and it should be something that's presented. We've had to do it. I've had to do it on every job site I've ever been on.
Mr. Davis, your time's up.
Yes, sir.
But I will say that the city council is looking at some additional air quality monitoring devices. This is an idea that actually came from Mr. Jones and Ms. Joyner. That there's currently right now some federal grant money out there that we're actively exploring about seeing if we can get new air monitoring system put out, especially for your part of Ramsey Avenue, and then also for over in Mr. Harris's district
Mhm.
over there by Davisville.
Yeah.
Because I think the only one, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Carnegie Woodson.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
you-
Mr. Rock.
that would, if the wind's
Right.
blowing wrong, they would catch it over there too.
Right, but I think the only one or the closest one,
The monitoring.
monitoring system is over at Carter G. Woodson Middle School.
Yeah.
So we're actively, looking into this as a way that we can actually get more quantifiable data for that.
Okay. No, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Next is Miss Laura Greenwood.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Citizens Oversight Committee had a meeting on Thursday, April 30th. There was 9 members present, 2 that weren't able to make it, but 1 did call in to speak to the city council members that showed up. Several of our other members wasn't able to attend or chose not to attend. We did a Q&A around the table. The audit was a subject that was addressed by members. One of the 2 city council members did state that there was unaccountable funds that was not allocated, so a receipt was done for those, invoice. I did state then that's illegal. David Foley of Robertson, Farmer and Cox, the auditor firm, has stated a few times in chambers that they were having problems due to internal controls, which means internal controls are policies and procedures to ensure the reliability of financial statements, meaning they didn't have the reliable procedure for those unaccountable funds. So writing a receipt to justify those unaccountable funds, if I'm not mistaken, is a type of fraud. I did call a friend of mine who's retired. He's a federal prosecutor. However, he's in Portugal right now and won't be back until the end of May. But I will be discussing this with him when he gets back. It's something y'all need to be concerned about. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next is Mr. Mark Burrows.
Mark Burrows, Ward 3. Good evening. I wanted to take a few minutes to speak honestly, not just about our community, but about myself. I know I've been loud, and I know I've spoken passionately, and yes, there have been times when I've said things that some would call outlandish, emotional, or blunt. I'm human. When you care deeply about your community, and when you feel unheard, dismissed, frustrated emotions can arise. I'm willing to own my words and my tone. But there's an important line that I need to draw tonight. Being outspoken is not the same as endorsing hate. Being frustrated is not the same as condoning death threats. Holding elected officials is not the same as supporting intimidation, harassment, or disgusting comments that are directed at people or their families. I want to be absolutely clear. I do not condone hate speech, period. I don't support it when it's directed at public officials, and I don't support it when it's directed at citizens, and I never will. We have reached a place where people are angry, and some of that anger may be justified, but when anger turns into cruelty or dehumanization, we lose the very thing that we claim to be fighting for. At the same time, let me also be clear about something else. I will not be intimidated. I will not be scared into silence. I will not be bullied out of speaking on issues that I care about simply because pressure, criticism, or fear is being used as a tool. Disagreement is not intimidation. Accountability is not intimidation. And speaking passionately is not intimidation. But trying to silence voices through fear from any side is unacceptable. You do not have to agree with me. You may never agree with me, and that's fine. But we should be able to sit in the same room, speak some hard truths, disagree strongly, and still maintain a basic level of decency and humanity. This community deserves better than division fueled by hate. It deserves better than fear. So I'll continue to speak. I'll continue to ask the hard questions, and I'll continue to stand firm in what I believe. But I will also continue to say this clearly and publicly. the hateful comments, the disgusting rhetoric, and the other BS online must stop. Not because disagreement should stop, but because if we lose our ability to disagree without destroying each other, then we all lose. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Burrows. Next is Ms. Thompson.
Darlene Thompson, Ward 6. First, I have a question. I would like to know why we, the citizens, still being charged for decals that we haven't received in over 3 years. I remember a couple of years ago, the commissioner came before City Council and asked for that fee to stop. And we are still getting that fee. At that time, it was only about $44,000. Might be a little higher now, but we should not be paying for those decals. It's $20. When I see people will all sitting here and ask for $500,000, and it is given repeatedly, more often than not. I've given Charles Bennett the name 555, 500,000 for the Bank of America, 500,000 twice for the marina, the shallow large. Each time is the 500,000, and each time is given. What is $20 for you all to give back to these citizens that you all are taking from us, and we are not even receiving decals? And also at the last meeting, we had the mayor to say that, made a comment that to me was disrespectful, and nothing was said. It's like it's okay that you all can comment after we make our speeches, our time. We have 30 minutes, and that time should be allotted to us. And you all should not be able to make comments and don't give us the right to come back and rebut and say how we feel. Those things should not be happening. When your city manager said how we act is never carried across the board. It starts with you all. You all have disrespected us, not listened to us. We have came before you repeatedly and said how we feel, and you all continue to be a yes council. All 7 of you all, never saying I disagree, or even when you do disagree, you can explain why you disagree. We gave you a seat. On the chart, it says the citizens. The citizens is over city council. We elect you all there. And you all have disrespected us, not heard our voices, our concerns, and then you ask for respect when we have seen what has happened in these chambers. I know I'm not going to have enough time to finish, but we have repeatedly.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson. Okay. Mr. Jones, will you and Ms. Gilliam, will you reach out to Ms. Reason and provide us an update on the decal issue?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, guys. Okay, moving on to regular business, our first public hearing, Mr. Jordan.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council. This is the public hearing first read for the fiscal year proposed operational budget. We did a initial read of the proposed budget back in April, as well as 2 town hall meetings for the community in April as well. Primary city programs and funds, general government funds, judicial administration, recreation, economic development, capital projects, grants, the marina, and perpetual care. Our enterprise funds include regional water, sewer, refuse, stormwater. Social and welfare is social services, Children's Services Act, healthy families and special welfare. Schools is general support, textbook fund, cafeteria, and building and bus replacement. And our debt is our general government, HWR, sewer, as well as schools. Who makes the expense forecast? Personnel costs, budget office and HR, service and supplies are the departments, capital departments, and our schools develops their own budget. Our proposed budget highlights for fiscal year 27. We're trying to maintain operations at our current level, funding needed capital with remaining funds if applicable, build reserves if revenue level after funding capital, class and compensation study implementation, public safety was completed in 26, as well as parks and recreation. All of the other departments will be included in this fiscal year's budget. Our health insurance was an increase of 6%, or $293,000. 82% of that cost was absorbed by the city and not passed on to the employees. There's a 2% COLA across the board for city departments. Police and fire step increases, as well as 2% across for state departments, DSS, and constitutional officers. Revenues by type. In fiscal year 24, our adopted budget was $70,518,068. For 27, our proposed budget is $72,183,583. Some notes: other taxes reduction is due to cigarette tax realistic estimates. Increase in firearms, in fines and forfeitures is due to school zone fines. Our federal revenue reduction is due to grants, and transfers are increased due to social services alignment with the state budget. Okay, this is a breakdown of revenues. Largest revenue for the city of Hopewell is our real estate taxes. Then we have our machinery and tools. We have our other taxes, as well as state revenue. Our transfers, support of the Public Act, which is social services, is $1.2 million. Support of schools is $13.5. CSA and CPMT is $962,000. Department of Recreation, $2.5 million. Capital projects, we allocated $570,000. Support of economic development, which is the EDA, is $50,000. Our self-insurance is $600,000. Debt service is $1.1, and healthy families is $398,000. Notes on this is VPA aligns with the state. CSA was moved to DP social services. Debt includes our meals and lodging outperforming our initial projections, and healthy families is an increase in state funding, reduction in city transfers. Our outside agencies, we had a slight increase in the library for state aid, and Beacon Theater, we transferred the $30,000 that was originally put in the Public Works budget for maintenance for the Beacon Theater. We transferred it directly to the Beacon Theater for a total of $180,000. We did an additional $5,000 to Historic Hopewell, and we added the Kwanzaa Club to the list at $2,000, as well as Feed More, $2,500 instead of $2,000 for last fiscal year. Our proposed all funds budget is $222,707,646. Majority of the cost is for schools and the general fund. Then we have water renewal as well as sewer operating fund. How is your tax dollars spent? General fund, school operations, as well as debt service, as well as water renewal is the highest cost across the city. We move on to our general fund. Expenses by department. Transfers is our highest expense, and police will be second, fire, of course, and then public works. So those are our largest departments that take a majority of our budget. The changes in our departments for council is removal of health insurance. For the clerk is an increase in salary and benefits. Of course, our health insurance. Attorney is the same, salary and benefits. City manager's office, management consultant was reduced, and the deputy city manager's salary was moved from finance to the city manager's office. 2 vacancies combined for 1 position. For voter registration, it's additional elections that have to happen, so we have to increase the cost for them. Treasurer is increased for postage and delinquent notices that are being sent out. IT increase comes from service contract increases. Circuit Court and Commonwealth Attorney is state-funded position that was added in 26 that had to be included in this year's budget. Police and Fire, step increase, and 3 police positions unfunded from 26 that were funded for 27. And for development, we added a neighborhood planner position. This is a breakdown of council's expense for a total operating budget of $196,644. Again, the reduction for council from year over year is due to health care. Our clerk's office, total of $240,659. The increase from 26 to 27 is due to salary, benefits, and health insurance. Our city attorney's office, total budget of $788,870. Increase from 26 to 27 stems from salary and benefits and health care. The city manager's budget, which includes economic development as well as government affairs and communications, total operating for 3 departments is $2,031,896. Year over year, it includes the city manager's office, again, economic development and communications, and increases stem from the deputy city manager's salary being moved from finance to the city manager's office and a reduction of management consulting costs. Our voter registrations office, its total budget is $548,687. The increase stems from additional elections coming up this year. Our police, total operating budget of $12,060,397. Police department includes administration, command, patrol, detectives, property, records, communications, and animal control, and their increase stems from yearly step increases and funding of 3 positions previously unfunded. Our fire department, total operating budget of $8,150,746. Year over year, fire includes EMS and emergency services, and the increase stems from their yearly step increase. Our public works department, total operating budget of $6,655,199. Year over year, public works also includes the public works admin, our garage, engineering, building and grounds, and the increase stems from the class and comp study implementation that was not completed in fiscal year 26. Parks and Recreation, total operating budget of $2,652,812. Their increase from last year, remember in 26, they were included in the class and comp study. So any increase for this year were just be from the healthcare increase, healthcare costs. Okay, we have our Planning and Development Department, total operating budget of $1,641,735. Development includes planning, GIS, and code compliance. Increase in planning stems from salary and benefits and neighborhood planner position. We have our Finance Department, which includes finance, financial reporting, procurement, budget, and the City Assessor's Office. Total operating budget for all 4 departments is $2,436,552. Finance includes, again, accounting, budget, procurement, City Assessor Office. And a decrease in this budget from 26 to 27 stems from the Deputy City Manager's salary moving from finance to the City Manager's office and a reduction of 1 position. Now we move on to our enterprise funds. Any questions so far?
No, don't see anyone.
Okay. We'll move on to our enterprise fund. Hopewell Water Renewal. Total operations is $21,566,998. Commission approved their budget on March 17th. Sewer operations, total budget $9,882,899. We have our refuse account, total operating budget of $3,991,665. We have our stormwater operations of $1,085,068. Any questions on enterprise? Okay, we'll move on to health and welfare. which includes our social services department. Total operating budget of $6,829,973. The social services is split with the state, so it's 85-15 split. So the state pays 85% and the city of Hopewell contributes 15% to the costs. CSA has a total operating budget of $3,700,000. I believe this one is a 76-24 split instead of the 85-15, but this has since been moved under social services, so it will report to Ms. Wanda Williams moving forward. Healthy Families operating budget of $1,185,471. Majority of Healthy Families funds comes from grants in surrounding localities, as they do service Prince George and Petersburg as well. And we move into our constitutional officers. The Commissioner of the Revenue, total operating budget of $793,993. His reimbursed by the comp board is $171,585. The Commissioner of Revenue has 2 full-time and 1 part-time position fully funded by the city. We also added an additional part-time position for fiscal year 27 for them for an auditor for cigarette taxes and other business license. Our treasurer, total operating budget of $778,737. Reimbursed by the comp board, $150,995. Our treasurer's office has a total of 9 positions, 6 full-time, 3 part-time, 5 are comp board positions and partly reimbursable. Moving on to our Commonwealth Attorney. Total operating budget of $1,395,339. Reimbursed by the comp board is $632,908. The Commonwealth Attorney has an additional position fully funded by the city. Our Sheriff's Department. Total operating budget of $2,542,713. Reimbursed by the comp board is $440,114. Our sheriff office has a total of 30 positions, 16 full-time, 14 part-time. 7 positions are comp board positions and partly reimbursable. Our last constitutional officer is our clerk of courts. Total operating budget of $708,504. Reimbursed by the comp board $391,417. We move along to our debt services. Debt services issued by beneficiary, we have 2 for HWR, 2 for sewer, 6 for the schools, and 7 for the general fund because we're including 2025. There is 1 from the schools that will be removed in the next fiscal year, and then we also have in 2027 some of the general fund for the city will be being removed. Schools debt will drop $1 million after June 2027. And HWR debt decreases in 2027. Okay. Moving on to our schools contributions. We just had the school meeting yesterday. We are doing a flat $13.5 million for school contributions for 2027. Our capital, we allocated $500,000 in this current fiscal year budget for capital projects. On slide 49, this is what we received in request for capital funding. On slide 50 is just a breakdown of each department and the actual project and the monies needed for funding for 2027. Again, we were able to allocate $500,000 towards capital projects, but we do still have the $15 million in GO bonds that are available for some projects that have already been noted. Any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Jordan.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to go ahead and open up the public hearing. First one that I have signed up for tonight is Ed Hauser. Okay. Next is Ms. Laura Greenwood. Okay. Mr. Mark Burrows.
Mark Burrows, Ward 3. First of all, I wanted to thank Stacy. I didn't get a chance to last week for all of her hard work with the audits and whatnot to make all of that up to date and hopefully propel us into the future, as well as for your transparency this evening. I wanted to talk for a moment about this issue. When we had the Citizen Oversight Committee, Ms. Day was able to answer a couple of questions for me regarding the $25,000 that the Commissioner's office had been requesting for a security barrier that I had asked about previously in meetings and had not gotten any answer to. Once Ms. Day was able to answer those questions, suddenly there was some clarity as to the significance and the importance of that security barrier being implemented. And the cost was, in a 3-second conversation, was miraculously justified in my opinion. But without that transparency, I was left in the dark, and it was not annotated anywhere why that security barrier was needed or justified, only that it was requested. At least anywhere that I had access to. I did have 2 quick questions about the budget moving forward. It's difficult to see from back there, and I got old man eyes. Did the fire department budget include the new hire funding that the chief had requested? And I couldn't remember if it was the sheriff or the police department that had requested funding for upgraded radios, and I didn't know if that was included in the budget moving forward as well. So, thank you.
So, it was the sheriff's department that requested, and we're gonna take that out of our salary savings for this fiscal year so that they'll get their communications.
Thank you.
We did not include the fire department, only because we're still kind of in the process. The cost is a little cheaper this year, like $53,000, but that's due to a safer grant that they're going for this year. But after that grant is done, it'll be an additional $800,000 on the city to cover the additional personnel. So we still have some things to work out as far as additional positions for the fire department.
Is there a reasonable expected time frame for those solutions?
Yes, I believe Chief Rupert said the grant doesn't close until September, so we won't know until about September if the city is eligible to get the grant.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
And he actually brings up a good point. When, if we do end up, well, if we don't end up getting the grant, can you guys provide us like a plan on maybe like a phased approach?
Sure, absolutely, we can. And also, if we do end up getting the grant and Mr. Jones decides that we want to include these, we'll bring back a budget amendment to the council.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right, we can go ahead and close the public hearing. All right, this was the first reading, so we'll have another reading at a future city council meeting. Moving on to R2.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council. My first public hearing this evening relates to a conditional use permit request for parcel 0730835 located on Dublin Street. This is a first reading for this conditional use permit request. The applicant is Mr. Ross Balschatz. The property owner is actually A.R. Bennett. This particular property is located in Ward 2 and zoned R3. The specific request is to construct a residential duplex on a non-conforming lot. So in the R3 district, minimum lot size for a duplex is 50 feet wide and 7,500 square feet total. This particular parcel is 50 feet wide and 5,000 square feet total. So the nonconformity is in the total square footage of this particular lot. The applicant is proposing to construct a 2-story, this should be a duplex dwelling. It's 3-bedroom, 2-bath in each unit, 1,200 square feet. It will have a brick porch and foundation with vinyl siding. You can see the elevations here on the right-hand side. Again, some floor plans for the first floor and second floor. Again, it's duplex, 2 units. So the structure that's being proposed by the applicant is larger than the average dwelling in this neighborhood. In fact, 6 of the 11 surrounding properties in this particular block are already duplexes, and they are the same lot size, 50 feet wide. This particular structure will meet all R3 district setbacks as required by the ordinance, and as I just mentioned, a duplex is consistent with this particular neighborhood. Staff does recommend approval of this conditional use permit with the following conditions. The new duplex will have 12-inch minimum eaves along all roof edges. Each unit will have its own driveway of asphalt or concrete. The duplex will have a brick foundation on all sides, along with foundation plantings, and that the structure will be in substantial conformance with the designs that have been presented to you this evening. Planning Commission voted 3-0 on April 2nd when they held their public hearing to recommend approval of this request with staff's proposed conditions. We have not received any public comment to date. And I'm available for any questions if you have any, and the applicant, Mr. Bauschatz, is also here if you have questions for him.
Okay. Are there any questions for the applicant or Mr. Ward? Okay. Seeing no lights, we'll go ahead and we'll open up the public hearing. First one I have signed up for tonight is Ed Hauser. Okay. Ms. Laura Greenwood. Okay. Mr. Mark Burrows. Okay. The next name, Yvonne Jordan. Jackson. Is it Jackson? You know, okay. All right, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Do I have a motion to approve the conditional use permit request? Oh, okay, to construct a residential duplex on a non-conforming parcel 0730835 in the R3 residential high-density district located on Dublin Street. I'll second it. So the motion was made by Councilor Harris and seconded by myself. Is there any discussion? Seeing no lights, roll call please.
Counselor Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Parton?
Yes.
Counselor Day?
Yes.
Counselor Rapoli?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joyner?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Your encore performance.
We'll move on to my second one. Switch gears a little bit. Before I get started, I did want to introduce Ms. Yvonne Jackson. She is our new Community Development Block Grant Program Manager. She is part-time with the city and fully 100% funded through the CDBG program, so there's no cost to the city. Yvonne, would you like to stand up, please? So we are so glad to have her on board. She is helping out incredibly a lot. In fact, I did want to announce that we did meet our timeliness expenditure again this most recent year. 100% thank you to Yvonne for making sure that we were able to meet that HUD requirement. So thank you, Yvonne. Moving right along, tonight we are having a public hearing where we are soliciting any public comments on generally about the Community Development Block Grant Program as a whole. Our citizen participation plan does call for 2 public hearings each program year, and this will be the first. The second will be coming back to you in the very near future once the CDBG committee reviews applications, and will come back with some recommended funding for the upcoming program year. Quick background. The mission of HUD and the purpose of the Community Development Block Grant Program is essentially to create strong, sustainable, inclusive communities and quality, affordable homes for all. Hopewell is an entitlement community, so we automatically receive these funds from the federal government. We don't have to apply for them. And they do come with some strings attached, and that is primarily that funds must meet at least one of 3 national objectives. Number one being the benefit to low to moderate income persons, the prevention or elimination of slums and blight, or an urgent need project typically related to some sort of natural disaster. In the past, we've been receiving in the low 200,000, approximately that dollar range, since 2020. This year, we have been notified that our allocation is 263,796. So we got a pretty good bump even over last year, which was 239,391. So since 2020, the city's received approximately $1.6 million in this federal money. HUD does place caps on how you can spend this money each year, maximum 20% on administration, maximum of 15% total on public service projects, and then the balance can go to things like housing, infrastructure, utilities, public facilities, parks. So in our consolidated plan, which our 5-year consolidated plan, which was adopted last year, we did identify priority needs as well as goals and project types. You can see them here. I won't go through each one of them. But essentially, when we solicit applications to the community for funding, to seek this funding, they should be addressing a priority need and meeting a goal. So tonight starts, essentially, it's the announcement for the start of a 30-day comment period. That day comment period actually starts tomorrow. Again, we are soliciting any comments from the general public about the CDBG program in general and any sort of funding priorities that a particular citizen may have. You can always reference our our consolidated plan, which is located on the city's CDBG webpage. We will be coming back hopefully at either the next meeting or the meeting after that with our final proposed annual action plan for the upcoming program year. And that will include a budget. So again, all of this information will be available on the city's website. You can always email the department or contact me directly, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. I am available for questions now. Otherwise, we'll go to public hearing and see if there's any public comments.
Okay. Are there any questions for Mr. Ward before we open the public hearing? Okay. Go ahead and open up the public hearing. First one I have signed up is Ed Hauser. Okay. Laura Greenwood.
Laura Greenwood, Ward 6. Just a question about this gentleman here. Do you have an itemized account of all that funding?
Itemized?
Yes.
We received one chunk of money.
Right.
263,796 is what we're getting now this year, and then different groups apply for that money. So no decision's been made yet as to any sort of funding decision.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't get your name.
Chris Ward,
And what department are you with, Chris?
Development.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Sure. We'll be back soon with the budget for this upcoming year.
Yeah, I like to see where it all's going.
And last one is Mark Burrows.
Mark Burrows, Ward 3. I was just looking at the slide that you had that had the HUD caps on it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got it on my phone. I had to blow it up so I can see it. I was curious, what is the difference between, for the fiscal year 26 to 27, what is the difference between a public service and a non-public service with regards to this funding?
So a public service project is, they're not building anything, they're just serving people. So for example, domestic violence shelter, food pantry, senior care, that type of thing. It's not hammer and nails, it's a service.
Okay.
So HUD says, of this money that we're giving you, you can only fund up to 15% total of the allocation towards that type of project. So non-public service would be more of a construction type project, infrastructure, public facilities, anything that's a constructed type project. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Are there stipulations on that to where, like, it has to go towards, say, an impoverished residence, home improvements versus the Riverwalk?
So it has to benefit a majority of low to moderate income persons. So something like a public amenity like the Riverwalk, because of our high poverty rate, they look at the city as a whole. And so it doesn't have to be 100% benefit, but it's 51%. That's how something like a Riverwalk can be funded. It's a public amenity and it benefits low to moderate income.
Okay.
Same with like housing rehabilitation. The occupant of that house has to meet income eligibility requirements.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
That's all that I have signed up for tonight, so we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Let's see, don't need any action.
There's no action, no, sir. We'll be back with the proposed program budget where we will be asking for action at that time.
Okay.
Thank you.
I do have a question.
Yes.
The Hopewell Redevelopment Housing Authority has had a really, really hard time with their camera system. Would that be a qualifying expenditure?
I don't believe so. Public
Okay.
housing authorities already receive their own funding from HUD. They have a separate funding stream where they get money.
So,
So this is more for nonprofits that are here to provide a service to the citizens of Hopewell. It's not really to fund public housing.
the reason that I ask is because Mr. Jones and I attended the Hopewell Redevelopment Housing Authority meeting last night, and their CEO is not aware of any CDBG funds that they receive or get, or that they are entitled to.
Yeah, they may not receive CDBG funds, but they do receive funding from HUD. But so it all comes from the same place. I'm happy to look into see if whether they're even eligible to receive CDBG funds. I can't answer that right now. I've not known them to ever either apply for that funding or receive it here in Hopewell. But I'd be happy to look into it and see if, first of all, if they're even eligible.
Okay. Yeah, the reason why I was asking is because I can't remember if it was Mr. Jones that mentioned it, or if it might have been Nancy Zilke had mentioned it. But they, one of them had stated that several localities utilize and work with their CDBG funds that they get with their housing authority. And sometimes they have like an advisory member that serves on the board. I mean, they're not a voting member on there, but they do work together. And so when we spoke with Ms. Wilson about it, she had said that she doesn't receive any, and so that's what kind of sparked up the conversation about how we can work to maybe do some improvements over there that are needed that are going to benefit the city as a whole.
Right, yeah, it's a very good question. In my experience, I've not seen that before, but then again, this is the first entitlement community I've worked in, so be happy to look into it and come back to you with an answer on that.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Moving on to R4, Mr. Bennett.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council. I have a brief request tonight. This is a house, really an accounting housekeeping type request. Over the past several years, the City of Hopewell has funded several support agreements for the Hopewell Economic Development Authority, and there was some surplus funds from those support agreements. Myself and Mr. English, we are staff to the Hopewell Economic Development Authority, so we act as a liaison and staff between the two bodies. And the Economic Development Authority Board asked me to request from City Council if we could have these funds that were restricted reallocated to the Legacy Business Grant Program that the City Council has funded previously. And the purpose there is with the Legacy Business Grant Program, it's to help support existing legacy businesses in the city in their efforts to expand, or, they can make application to do things like get possibly new signage, or if it's a restaurant, they need a new oven or refrigerator or parking lot improvements or things like that. And so the Legacy Business Grant Program has been a great tool to help grow our existing businesses. Sometimes the existing businesses feel like economic development is just trying to bring somebody new in, and the city's not really supporting existing ones. But so this is a tool the Economic Development Authority can use to help with that. And so the request tonight is to take the funds that were previously given in support agreement that were surplus, were not used for 509 3.5 Street, and then also 15 Reverend C.W. Harris acquisitions, and to reallocate those to the Legacy Business Grant Program. That's the resolution that you have before you. Total of about 19,000 altogether when you put all the funds together. Happy to answer any questions that you have.
Vice Mayor Jordan?
No, I'd just like to make a motion that we approve the request to enable the EDA to provide this surplus grant funding to the Legacy Business Grant Program in Hopewell.
Okay. So the motion before us is to approve the resolution as presented before us. I'll second it. Is there any discussion? Seeing no, Councilor Rapoli.
Just want to say, I think it's important that we recognize these legacy, businesses, and that we do support them. So I'm very encouraged by this motion.
I'll let the Economic Development Authority know your sentiments.
And not to slow this up from another round going up, but can it also be, because if memory serves me correctly, we have a good number of old businesses that are operating in their original old buildings, and that certain building conditions and improvements don't qualify. If we go back and revisit that sometime in the next 30, 60 days to make improvements to the program, so it's opens up that you can apply for other and greater needs.
So if I understand you correctly, you're asking the Economic Development Authority to look at expanding the eligibility of the Legacy Business Grant Program?
Yeah.
Yes, we actually have that on one of our future meeting agendas to look at that. Because that program hasn't been looked at in probably 6 or 7 years. Okay. So, and they do have feedback from previous times that the program was used during COVID. I think was the last time it was really utilized. So we'll be happy to look at that and try to make it as beneficial as possible. I just want to point out to council, it's a pretty small amount of money right now that's in there, but it's something, and we'll probably have to limit the grants given from this and this year to maybe 4,000 or 5,000 per applicant with this amount of money. But obviously, at some point in the future, could possibly seek additional funding for that.
Okay. And sometime in the next 30, 60, 90 days, could we have a presentation before council for the public on the EDA and how they're moving forward and how they've been doing a lot of restructuring of their organization in order to reduce costs, bring things in-house, and then also to generate more funds?
Absolutely, yeah. Our chair, which is Mr. Tavares Marks, he would be happy to come present to you, and we will help him prepare for that and see if we can do something later in the summer.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay. Seeing no other lights for discussion, roll call, please.
Councilor Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Parton?
Yes.
Councilor Day?
Yes.
Councilor Rapoli?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Joyner?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay.
Thank you.
At this time, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.